Good morning everyone. So it's another nice sunny bright morning. I'm not sure how long that's going to last for, but it always makes me wake up feeling good. I love the sunshine, I love it being bright, it just makes me feel happy and ready for the day. So today's video, I'm going to be reinstalling my YP4 exhaust. I do like this sensible stock exhaust, but the YP4 just makes the bike stand out a bit more, you'll have to agree. And a couple of you have mentioned that in the comments as well, saying the YP4 looks so much better, and I do agree, I do completely agree. I just thought for a week or two I'd run the stock exhaust, so I'm chucking the YP4 back on, and I've made a little how-to on that. I know to a lot of you it's quite simple, it's just one bolt there, one bolt down there, slide the old one off, slide the new one on, tighten the bolts. But I've had a couple of people ask me to do a how-to. They might not have the bike yet, they might just want to get a heads up, or have a heads up on how to do this job when they get the bike, so I've chucked that in there. But yes, the thing in today's video is the tail tidy install. I bought a nice, cheap, decent looking tail tidy off eBay. Links will be in the description. I used a couple of little tools and bullet connectors. Links in the description. So everything you'll need will be in the description. And to fit it. So yeah, hopefully this will help a few of you out. There was a moment in the fitting where I thought, oh, I'm not too sure here. So there's a bit of trial and error, and I got it right. So hopefully this video eradicates that trial and error for yourselves. And yeah, I hope you enjoy. And thank you so much to all my subscribers. I'm at over 300 now. Over 300 subscribers. My guys, my girls, my friends. Nice one. Jackson. So you want to come outside because I'm outside, but when you come outside, you try and get back in for some reason. So I've made you your own throne, so you can be outside together. What do you think to that? What do you think to that? You want to come try out your bed? Come on your bed. Come on, mate. Go on your bed. I've made this all nice for you, look. Jackson, try your bed. 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 Okay. Okay, well, you're spending 10 minutes outside with me today. Okay? We'll see. We'll see if he gets on that bed. I imagine he will at some point.
10 seconds later.
So now we've established that the exhaust doesn't affect that rattle that I used to have, and as much as it's quite nice having this quiet, almost sensible sounding exhaust on the bike, I have to agree with a few of you and say the YP4 just makes the bike stand out, doesn't it, a lot more. So I'm going to put the YP4 back on, but I thought I'd record it because I've had a couple of people ask me to do an actual how-to on removing the exhaust and everything and replacing it with an aftermarket one. It's quite simple, so I never really fully bothered about it, but I'll do it just in case you've not bought the bike yet and you're wanting to get a head start on how to do certain things. But quite quickly, what I will say is to remove the original, there's a 10mm bolt just there that you'll slacken and hold. This is the bracket, so you'll loosen this 10mm bolt just there. There's a 14. Just remove these covers. Oh god, they're good, they are. Anyway, once I've popped that off, there's a 14mm bolt behind there, and then behind that is a 14mm nut. So you'll need a spanner, a ratchet. So a 14mm spanner, 14mm ratchet. Once you've loosened, well, removed this one completely and loosened that one down there, the whole thing will slide off. So we'll do that now, just give you a good understanding of how to do it. So the first thing I'm going to start with is this top bolt here. This 14. Oh, I still can't get it off. Right. Is that it? Is that in there? Yes. Okay, so 14 on the ratchet, 14mm spanner on the back. Oh, that's my 13. So don't use a 13. 14. Okay, that will crack. And it's as simple as that. Put that somewhere safe. Now we're going to slacken off this 10mm down below. Just here. Don't have to remove it, just make sure it's nice and loose. If that moves, that's fine. You've got it loose enough. So that's pretty much it. All it's going to be a case of now is twisting and pulling. So try and get you to another good position to see. Right. So quite simply just and that's all there is to it. And it's the exact same process of putting your aftermarket one back on. But again, we'll go through it just in case there's some of you that are wanted to see it beginning to end. We'll put that somewhere safe. You know, don't get it damaged, because if you ever want to come to sell the bike, you want it run everything nice. Yeah, sweet. It's a good exhaust though. Don't throw it out the second you get the bike. I'd say ride the bike for at least a month or so before you consider getting rid of it, because it doesn't sound too bad and it does make the bike. Okay guys, so here I am with the YP4. When you do buy yours, it will come in two parts. You'll get the silencer or the end can and the link pipe separately. So what I'd suggest is slotting the link pipe on first, loosely. So you put your link pipe onto this. It's just so you can get the right angle on this bend. Can you see that? I don't think you can see it. There we are. It's just so you know you can get the right angle on this bend with your end can, because the last thing you want is, because obviously if it was at that angle it's hitting the rear foot peg. So if you put it on loose, I've already done this you see, so obviously mine fits as it should. And I'll get about there. And then at this point you can just nip up this bracket here, which is 10mm again. You can just nip that up, and then you know that that's the right angle for everything to fit. So yeah, so if you're at this point, I'd like to now put a little bit of exhaust paste around there. Now, first time I've done this I put way too much on, so this time I've learnt my lesson. I'm just going to put a thin coating on. Lextech exhaust paste. I don't know if that's too much or too little, but it's a lot less than I used the first time, and that's what I'm sticking to. Let's get this down there. Right, and I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, now armed with your pre-angled end can, I would suggest popping this on now, just to that. Then you'll also get this to support the end can with. I would slide that on now. Take this 14mm bolt. Okay, this is where you might struggle a bit. Not struggle, but be a bit of a pig. So now you've put that through there. I'm hoping you can see. You can see that, right? So now this is where you'd really come into angle finding, you see? There. Try and do this. Hold on. Can I put that there? Really pinch that in. Just to get enough on the end so you can put that nut back on. So that's that. Now all I'm going to do is tighten up those two bolts. Starting with this one. nice and tight. I'm going to pop my little red cap thing back on because I do like that. Ta-da! And now this one on the aftermarket one, I'm sure that's a 14 too. Yes, it is. So might move that down a bit. Oh no, that was fine where it was. Okay, nice and tight. Again, don't break yourself getting this stupidly tight, because you'll only end up breaking the clamp. That's it. Now I'm going to give it a wipe down because of grubby hands and whatnot. Plus I can't help but constantly clean this bike. Quality control. Does that pass, Jackson? I'd say that passes, wouldn't you? Just another one as well. It says allowed to dry for 30 minutes. So don't start your bike straight up just out of excitement. Oh, I want to listen, wait for it to dry. And I think the reason for that is if you've got soft exhaust paste and you start it, is it going to blow it into your actual back box? Potentially. So give it 30 minutes to dry, then start the engine and leave it for at least 10 minutes. So obviously 30 minutes to dry, start your engine, it's going to heat it up enough to completely make it rock solid, then you're good to go. Giving it another wipe down again. You know what I'm like. And I'm just starting it up to leave it to run for 10 minutes, as it said on the instructions of the exhaust paste. So yeah, I do love seeing this bike clean. I think that's why I'm obsessed about it, because it's a good looking bike anyway, but you know when you make it shine, boy oh boy oh boy, does it look good. L plates are going on today as well. I was meant to do them the other day, but I didn't even get to ride the bike, so today's the day, today's bike day. It's going to be sad to sell her. Look how gorgeous she is. I know the CBR 600 is meant to be an overall good bike, like a hard to beat bike, but I still don't think it has these looks. And it's the looks I'm going to miss, but it is what it is. So yeah, give it 10 minutes and then I'll probably go out for a cruise. Nice one. Hey, good day, hey hey. So today's a great day. This is tail tie today. Like I say guys, we're going to do this together because I've not looked into how to replace them. I have no idea what I'm doing, so I'm going to take my time and we're going to do it together. But this is just some befores. Cool. Let's do it now. This. Okay, so looking at this, there's 2 bolts there. I'm looking at 4 bolts there. Okay, there we go. See those 4 bolts? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to start by removing those, but before I do that I'm going to remove the pillion seat just in case there's nuts in there. So let's... So this is what we're greeted with on the inside. And I can see the threads for those bolts. Okay, so there's no nuts. There's 1 just there, 2, 3, and the 4th one is there, which is great. That means we can just undo it from underneath. And let's just do that and see what happens there. Okay, so thinking about this, it might be better for me to undo the indicators first, because they need to be separated obviously from, if I undo these bolts and it drops, they're still going to be attached to this and by them. So I'm going to start by loosening
these bolts here. There's one on this side too, as you can see, just to kind of free up the indicators. So I'm going to do that now. Okay guys, so it's a 14mm spanner you're going to need, and just start working that loose. I'm sure probably by now you can get the rest by hand. Yeah. Okay, so they're completely undone. So the next thing I'm going to do is take off this bracket here, which looks like a 10. So I'm going to go grab my 10mm. What I have decided to do is, I think that's a good angle. What I've decided to do is remove these four now. Just have a look. Again, these are 10mm. Oh, that was loose. Thanks for mowing your lawn at exactly this time next door. Appreciate that. Right, so yeah, the only thing keeping that in there is the fact that it's still attached with this wiring loop. So the next... Okay, so looking at it now, bearing in mind I've never done this before, we're doing it for the first time together, is I would leave these bolts, I wouldn't remove those bolts first. I put one back in just to hold this tail tidy in place. So I would say the first thing you need to do is take off your pillion seat, and you'll see this kind of loom full of connectors. These bullet connectors appear to be the ones that are going to the number plate light and the indicators. So I would say from here, where are we? Try and track and trace these wires. Right. I'm just going to snip off this cable tie so I can wiggle the wires and see properly which wire routes where. Can you see that little tie wrap? Just there. I'm going to cut that off and I'll be back. Oh yeah. So the reason I've cut that tie wrap is so I can, as I pull this wire, I can see that that one is definitely for that indicator. You see, as I pull on it, it's pulling it in and out. So we know for a fact that this wire leads to that indicator. Now we've got green and blue. So the green goes into the double one and the blue goes into the single. That should now come free. Yes, it does. Take off the bolt. That's there. That's there. Sound as. So now we have this one. So the double greens green goes to green. Okay. So let me just remove that one for now. Can I even remove that one? Should be able to, shouldn't I? Feels really tight in there though. Oh yeah, it's a bullet connector, it's just really in there. So I'd be careful how you approach this. You don't want to just keep pulling it in case you pull the connector from the wire. It's not a big deal, you can always put a new bullet connector on, but just to save you that hassle. So what I'm going to do now is just gently wiggle this to get it free. So what I've done instead, rather than wiggle it, is I've just pulled this sleeve back off of that. So my plan is now to tease it from this side. So it really is difficult with one hand. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to go push that bullet connector from this side to slide it out of that side. And it worked. So that's that one. Great. Yep, you're alright. Keep that safe. Keep everything safe. Now the only thing that's left is the number plate light itself. And as you can see, that does run to the tail. So I'm going to unplug those now. Actually, before I do that, I want to remember that green, I want to make sure that this, remember that this green wire is for the number plate light. So I'm going to get a bit of masking tape around that, just to remind myself that this green, because it's the same colour green as the indicator green, I'm going to remind myself that that green here is for the number plate light. So that's my next plan, masking tape around that. Just unplug those, put masking tape around this green one, because like I've said probably 5 times now, that reminds me that this green specifically is for that number plate light. So now there's no reason why, if I take out this bolt I've put back in just to secure the tail up there, that wouldn't just come free now. And there we have it. One removed standard tail. Now the fun bit as well. Give it a clean. Don't just put new parts on dirtiness. Not right. So here we are, that's what we're left with. Now I'm going to show you the tail tidy I've bought. It was off eBay, I'll put a link in the description. It was less than £20, you get a number plate light, the tail tidy itself, which is a nice black aluminium. It's quite nice actually for the money. And then yes, you also get 2 of these. Now these just secure the number plate light to the tail tidy. So you will need I think male. Yeah, you will need male bullet connectors. There's a link to these in the description as well. I bought male and female because it's always nice, eh? It was dead cheap as well. So you will need to pop those onto this wiring. You won't have to for the indicators, because obviously they're already connected. Look, they've already got connections on it. You just have to feed them back through into the bike, and that's it. So the only thing we have to really wire up is the number plate light. Now there's 3 wires on this, but only 2 wires on the actual wiring loom. I'm going to assume green is the live, brown is the earth, because that tends to be how it is. I'm not saying that is right, but I'm just going to assume, right? So if this goes wrong, that's on me. I'm not telling you to do it this way, this is the way I'm going to do it. So if I'm assuming that the green is live for the number plate, I can assume that the green is the live for the... But the indicators are just colour coded anyway, you can't really go wrong with those. The only thing we need to get right is this. So I'm not sure what the red's for, but the first thing I'm going to try is these 2 wires. Let's see if that works. Okay, so I've just come inside, just because I want to show you something. So all I've simply done is bought the red male bullets connectors. I've crimped them on using just a simple crimping tool, and not necessary, but I'm going to put a bit of heat shrink just over the connections, just to ensure they are well protected. And it's always nice to do things as best as you can, eh? So don't hold it there for too long, believe me, you will burn the wire. Now I know this side's too big for the wire, it's not going to shrink around the wire, but it's more up top I wanted to do this for. Oh, it might, it is going. It is going, that's for sure. Yeah, so I think that's as shrunken as that's going to get, and as you can see, it's formed a nice tight seal around where I've crimped it. I'll do that for all three. I don't think we need the red one, but I've put one on there anyway, just in case we do. I'm sure you could get away with just twisting the wires together or something like that. Or, you know, you don't even really need to put the heat shrink on it, but a good friend of mine, Phil, who I used to work with, it's because of him really, he's taught me the importance of doing things well. Doing things right as you can, anyway. So nice one for that, Phil. Every time I play with wires or anything like that, I always think of him. Because he's probably one of the smartest men I know when it comes to wiring and stuff like that. He's very clever. All connected with plugs and heat shrink. So let's go back outside and get this routed. Okay, so to get to the back of that, I think you need to actually separate the tail tider just to get the best angle for it. So I'm removing those two, and that should now, which it does, sweet. So my plan now, put the screws into that, onto the back of this, more heat shrink over these wires, feed that into the back. So I'm just going to grab the heat shrink. Let's go back inside and do this. Just be prepared to really give these a good push. No, it takes quite a bit of strength, honestly, to get them in. You might have to go in and out a few times. Giggity. But we're on. So now I'm going to go put this heat shrink on. So I'm just going to put that there, see how we get on with that. This doesn't need 5, it needs heat. There is better ways, you could use a heat gun to do this properly, but that's a tool I don't possess, so I have to use fire. So I'm just going to put a bit of heat on, let it cool, bit of heat, let it cool, just to stop it melting. I want it to shrink, not melt. Melt. As you can see, I've shrank it and I've pushed it into there. Now, I do want to heat shrink it again because I've got all this exposed wire, but I'm not sure if I might do that on the bike because, no, that should be cool, shouldn't it? I should be able to do that now. Yeah, we'll do that now. It'd have been nice to do this in one long piece of heat shrink, but I don't have. I just bought this set. I've had this years. Get that cool. Come around this side. Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, that looks good to go. Yeah, I'm happy with that. That's nice and neat, eh? I'm happy with that. Alright guys, so I've already tried this once, but my glue gun ran out of bloody glue. So I'm not putting much on. It's not much at all, to be fair, just enough. Keep the weather out. That's it. That's all I want to do. And don't worry about the strands. The strands of glue you can just snap off when it's dry. Right, I'll give that 5 minutes to dry, then put it on the bike. Right. So it's had plenty of time to dry. I'm just gonna mock it up loose now. So the holes I'll be using with this one are these furthest ones here. So, where are we? There. So let me just put a bolt in there just to hold it. Okay, so that's just mock fitted for now. Yes, so the hole for the wiring loom sits right underneath this bracket. So I'm going to use these holes here, the spare holes we've got, and just feed those in. Okay, so that's two. Let's pull those through a bit. Come in. Get this last one up there. Great. Can you see that heat shrink now? Doing its job, keeping the wires safe. So that's the wiring for the tail light, okay? There. The indicator is here. This is for this side. I'm going to buy some smaller ones, but for now, yeah, let's get these on. Again, giving them a wipe. Everything nice and clean, including the threads, very important. Okay. Yep. Can you see that? Oh, you can. Oh yeah, we need some smaller indicators, don't we, guys? 100%. Oh, nice. And then there's a hole just here, which I'm going to try and use. Please fit through, please fit through. Make life so much easier if you did. Oh, one fits through, but can we fit through two together? No, we cannot. Okay. Okay. Let's have a look. I can pull you down a bit. Just enough so I can fully get one through. And now hopefully that will give me enough room to just sneak this one through. Will you do it for me? Go on. Oh, it's so close, come on. Through. Yes. So after a bit of perseverance, that does fit through. That will go through that hole. Just have to persevere. What am I looking at? I'm looking at the sky there, wasn't sorry guys. So all I'm doing now is feeding this through that bolt hole. Yeah. Might be tempted to cable tie those together, but for now we'll leave that there. We'll get the other indicator on. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, guys, as I've done this side. Put it through that bolt hole and have a wiggle. So I'll see you when that's done. So this is where we're up to. Everybody have utilised not the bolt hole this time, but the one in between the tail tidy bolt, in between the both of them, to be fair. I've utilised that one. Nothing gets in the way. So I'm happy with that positioning. So what I'm going to do now is tighten this up to its final position and then get on to some wiring. So all I'm going to do is zip this up, and nip around all the Allen bolts so everything's nice and tight, and then we'll get to the wiring. Okay guys, so here we are, all nipped up, all nice and sorted. Well, apart from this bit, I've got to zip, well not zip, but nip these Allen bolts up just here. But yeah, we're all nice and tidy and clean and tight underneath. So my plan is now to nip these up, do the wiring. Oh cool, wow. Sorry guys, I'm awful at this camera thing. So there we go, nice and rock steady. So the left indicator is here. We'll just go and get my lovely assistant to hold the camera. So my lovely assistant's helping me right now. Come on in, right in. So remember before when I said I think the brown's the ground and the green's the live? It's the other way around for this particular tail tidy. So you need the red wire going into the brown, and you need the black wire going into the green. So now I've established that, I can cap this one off. This is the spare one that comes with the new tail light, and as you can see, everything works. If I turn the lights off, it's off. On, it's on. If I indicate left, indicators on. If I indicate right, indicators on. Oh, cancel that. I'm going to push all these connectors in nice and tight and then put the seat back on and call that a job. So let's just quickly do that. So just give them all a good push in. Make sure there's no exposed metal anywhere, because you don't want any kind of live coming in contact with metal. I know it's painted, but there could be a chip somewhere and it could just cause an arc, and then you've got electrical issues that you just do not want to add. So everything is pushed in nice and tight. I can now bring this collar back over the loom. Push everything in there.
Hi everyone, me again. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching my videos, and thank you very much for all my subscribers. I've got like 309 the last time I checked, and every time I see the count go up, every single time I notice one. So you're all, I'm grateful to you all. I love you all. I notice every time I just get 1 or 2 subscribers. So yeah, you're all loved and I'm super grateful. Bear with me, this is the second time I've had to record this because, well, it's the first time I'm recording it, but it's the second time I'm speaking to my camera because the first time I didn't hit record, so I'm just talking to myself. So yeah, a bit strange. But I'm definitely recording this time. But yeah, the Tailtide, I hope you find it somewhat useful. I mean, there's no guides out there on how to do it, and by no stretch of the imagination is this the ultimate how-to guide on doing it. This is just the way I've done it. This is the way I figured it out with the Tailtide that I've bought, and I'm hoping that it just helps some of you out there if you're considering doing it. So yeah, that's that. And another thing I wanted to say was the bike is, as of this video going live, officially up for sale. I know, it's quite sad. It's quite sad really, because I do love that bike. And now that rattling noise has gone, there's just, it's like, why sell it? Why sell it? It's absolutely spot on. But that's why it's up for sale. You know, the bike has nothing, it needs for nothing, it wants for nothing. It runs, drives, rides, stops, brakes, turns, leans, suspension, bounces, exactly how it was intended to do. And all I'm going to be doing now is putting more miles onto it, which I don't particularly want to do because the lower the miles, the better the resale, I'm assuming. So yeah, the bike's up for sale. And my Mod 1 is at the end of the month, okay? My Mod 2 is going to be soon after that. Then I want to move on to a faster bike. Now, I can't afford to buy the next bike I want without selling this one first. So this one has to go. I'm being realistic in my price that I'm asking for it. I see regular LXRs, as in the non-SE LXRs, second-hand, with about the same mileage, going between £1,600 and £1,700. Mine is the SE. It will come with the exhaust. It has the gold chain fitted. It's at both services. It's fully broken in. I'll even keep the tank bag on because a lot of people like the tank bag. And I'm only asking £1,800 for it. Now, that's £1,800 absolutely firm. I don't want £1,750 for it because it's not a £1,750 bike, you know. £1,800 is quite cheap, but I'm realistic at the same time. It's an LXR, it's a 125, it's done over 1,000 miles. But £1,800 I believe is more than fair. So I won't take a penny less. I won't even take £1,795, just so you know. But I just thought I'd give you guys first dibs on it. I've not put it on Facebook Marketplace, I've not put it on Gumtree, eBay, all those places. This is the first time I've mentioned it being for sale. So yeah, it is officially up for sale now. So yeah, just thought I'd let you guys know. And once more, thank you very much for watching. I love you all. Wicked family, wicked group. Nice one. Catch you next time.